Hey everyone! Today we're playing Athena versus Persephone. This seems like a potentially interesting combo because Athena's power is that if she moves up, then Persephone can't move up. And Persephone's power is that if Athena moves up, or if Athena's worker can move up, then it has to move up. So it kind of seems like Persephone is forcing Athena to use her power, which might seem like it would disadvantage Persephone. But I think maybe there's a way for Persephone to use it to her advantage, because if you force Athena all the way up as high as she can go, like to level 2 without a level 3 available, then she can't use her power anymore and she has to jump down before she can use it again. So there might be a way to kind of force Athena to use the power when she doesn't really want to use it, instead of allowing her to wait to use it until it's strategically advantageous. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go and just place a block over on the edge here, because that seems like a fairly good strategy. You put a block down where your opponent can't get onto it. Now, obviously, I have to jump up onto it. So I don't know why it's continuing to give me this little pop-up thing. It's kind of annoying. Potentially a bug. So now on my next turn, well, I guess I may have to move up with a worker if Persephone does something. Like if she builds a block on A3, for example, and then my worker would have to move up over there, which I don't necessarily want to do. Okay, so I have to move up. And I think I'll just build another level 2, right? So then I have the ability to make a threat at any time. I think I said this in a previous video, and it's not a huge revelation or anything, but when you're on level 2 and you have a level 2 that you can move to, that's usually good, because it means you can threaten to win the game at any time, and that usually means at least one of the opponent's workers has to sit around and be able to stop that threat if it happens. But you also don't have to make that threat at any specific time, so it kind of just keeps their worker in a limbo. So I think the obvious thing here is going to be to move over with my worker to D5 and then build on C5. Just keep it on the ground. I don't think I need to make a threat yet. That doesn't make any sense because it doesn't get me anything. So I'll just continue giving myself options. Okay. If I can get if my worker could immediately move to C4 and build on C5, I would win. So maybe I should start moving over there and try to set up something like that. So actually, I'm going to have to move upwards onto. I was going to have to move upwards onto onto D2. So I was trying to give myself a place to jump up onto C4, but actually he took that away from me by jumping up onto it himself. That's a good defense. So now I have to move on to D2. What should I do once I'm there, I wonder? Well, actually, once I hop up there, he's not allowed to hop up onto C5, so that's at least something. Because I've moved up on this turn, so Persephone's workers can't move up on her turn. Yeah. So, at the very least, I'm not exactly where I wanted to be, but at least I've created a disadvantage for Persephone. Maybe this is somewhat imbalanced. Like maybe Athena's power is easier to use effectively here than Persephone's power is. But I still feel like maybe there's a way for Persephone's power to work out. He can't decide what to do. Or he just likes the animation. Alright. So, it doesn't really make sense to make a threat with my worker on the second level, so I should probably do something with my worker on the first level. So I'm gonna just try to give myself more level 2 options. I'm not worried about him placing a level 3 on E3, because if he did that, then I could take my worker on D5, move to E4, build a third level on D5, and then I would have 2 level 3s available to me, and I would win the game. So that seems like a kind of strange move. He's allowing me to get up there, but he's also, which he kind of has to do, but he's also moving away, and now I can actually block him by building on D2, because I just moved up, so he's not allowed to move up on that turn, or on this next turn. So if I build a second level on D2, then he can't move up onto it, which means I will have access to it next turn. So I think that that's probably a good move. Just thinking if there's anything else I should do. Should I build on E2? I don't know. I think it's better probably to build on D2, because then I can use moving on to that block as a way to kind of keep his workers out of my space. So we'll see what he does. What would be a good move here? I don't even know. You can't build a level 3 anywhere. Moving down seems kind of not great. Okay, that's decent actually, because I can't move up anywhere. So I can't really stop him from getting up onto that by using my power. But I could move over to D2 with my worker on E3, and then build a third level on that center. And that would keep him from getting up onto it, and that would force him to move down to the ground level with something. So I think that's probably a good move. He could jump down with either of his workers to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different squares. So I'm not sure exactly what he would do. It's hard to calculate like what would happen after that, but it just seems like a good thing to do. Keep him from getting up there, and force him down to the ground. Those are both sort of generally good things to force to happen. Alright, so now what? I still don't have a win, or like a obvious win in the next move. I would love to be able to like build a level 3 on... I would love to have my worker build a level 3 like kind of near the corner, but I don't know. I guess I'll just continue building level 2s. Okay, so he's up there. Interesting. I'm not sure exactly what that does for him. So let's see. If I could like... The block on E4 is what's looking really attractive to me. Like if I jumped down with my worker on E3, if I jumped down to D4 and built there, that almost works, except that his worker on C2 can move to D3 and dome it, and then I don't know exactly what I do, because then I wouldn't be able to move anywhere with my worker on level 2, and my other worker would be on the ground. But maybe there's a way to do something like that. Like keep his worker on C2 can sneak through that gap, which is the annoying part. But if there's a way to stop him from sneaking through that gap, I think there might be a win here. Let's see. Can I build something in the gap? But I build level 1, he can jump up onto it. Maybe if I jump down with my worker on E3, so E3 to D3, build on D4, that stops his worker getting through the gap, which means he has to stop me with the other worker, which means that one has to jump down to D4. Then I can jump up. Actually, I guess I have to jump up because of Persephone's power, but I can move up to C4 and build on C5, and there's no way for him to stop that. Yeah, alright, cool, forced win. Yeah, so the way to find that combo is basically thinking like, that worker on C2 is really annoying, and I don't want it to go through the gap. So what can I do to stop it from getting through? And the only thing I can do, really, is to use my own worker to block it. But I don't know that I would have found it if I hadn't been thinking about it in that way. Up I go, and now this should win, right? This freaking pop-up. Okay, and let's build, and yeah, so there's no way for him to move and then be able to build in that spot. What will he do? Okay, just built a level 1 just for fun. And now, oh fun, I get butterflies on the level 3. That's nice. Cool. Alright, so interesting game. I think Athena looked pretty overpowering there. But I still think maybe there's a way for Persephone to win it. But it definitely seems potentially challenging. Anyway, I liked that ending combo. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.